Hey guys, this is going to be just a quick video on how to do the Cramer's rule with the DeltaMath problems. Please also look at the video from yesterday where we took these notes in class. So the main thing with Cramer's rule is we're trying to solve for x and y. To solve for x, we're going to get what we call d sub x, and we're going to over d, and y is d sub y over d. So what we need to do is find these three determinants. We'll start with just d. D is going to be the determinant of these four coefficients. So 5, 6, -8, and -5. And then to define the determinant, you're going to do some cross multiplying. You're going to do 5 times -5 minus, always minus, -8 times 6. And you're going to compute that. So we get -25 plus 48. So that gives us 23. That's our first one. Then we need to get d sub x. To find that, we're going to replace these x values, 5 and 6, with these values over here, -6 and -4. They just swap places when you find the x. So it's -6 and -4. Those take the place of the x's. And we keep the -8 and -5 there. And we're going to do another determinant. So now we do -6 times -5 minus -8 times -4. That gives us 30 minus 32, it looks like. Yep, 30 minus 32, so that gives us -2. And then last one we're going to do is d sub y. So with the d sub y, we're going to replace the y coefficients with these constants over here. So it's going to be the determinant of 5, 6, -6, -4. And then we'll do our determinant. So 5 times -4 minus -6 times 6. And we get -20 plus 36, which is 16. All right, and then the last step is to then write it here. And actually, we can go ahead, if you wanted to, go ahead and type these in. These are going to go any order, doesn't matter. 23 is our first determinant, -2 and 16. And then we got to get x and y. So for x, we use this d sub x over d. So that's -2 over, so -2 comes from here, 23. And then y is going to be d sub y, which was that 16 over 23. If we could reduce these, we would want to, but in simplest form, 23 is not something easily reducible, so we'll just leave it as is. So -2 over 23 and 16 over 23. And submit our answer here. All right, let's look at another one here. Okay, so we're going to do our three determinants. We're going to do just our plain d first. It's going to be the determinant of these four coefficients, sorry. 2, -1, -2, and 5. So we just do 2 times 5, which is 10, minus -1 times -2, which is +2. So 10 minus 2, which is 8. We then want to do d sub x. So now we're going to swap out these x coefficients with -4 and -8. So we -4, -8 in the first column, and then -1 and 5 for the second column. We'll do our cross multiplying. Always start in the upper left there. -4 times 5 is -20, minus, and then -1 times -8 is +8. So that's going to give us -28. And then I want to find d sub y. So we're going to swap out the y's with -4 and -8 this time. So 2 and -2, and -4 and -8. We multiply to get -16 minus +8. So that gives us -24. So now we're ready to write our x and our y. Our x is d sub x, which is -28, over d, which is 8. if we reduce that, you can use a calculator if you want to, but you're going to want that in simplest form. So 4 goes into both of those. It goes into -7 and 2, so -7/2. And then y is going to be d sub y, which is -24/8. And that actually reduces to -3. So let's type all those in. 8, -28, and -24. And then for x, we got -7/2. And our y as -3. And just do one more quick one for good measure here. Go kind of quick. And remember, we have that video from yesterday too, so go a little slower and explain it more in depth in the video yesterday. The d in this one is going to just be our coefficients here. -3, -4, -8, and -9. Just take your time on these to make sure you get the right signs. This is going to be +27 minus +32. So that's -5. Our next one, d sub x. We're going to swap out the x column with -2 and 5 and keep the y's as -4, -9. We then get 18 when we cross multiply minus a -20. Cross multiply there, so that becomes a plus. So we get 38. And then we need to do d sub y. For that one, we're going to swap out the y's. We'll keep the x's of -3 and -8. Swap out the y's with -2 and 5. Cross multiply, we get -15 minus +16. And that gives us -31. So those are going to go in our 3 determinants. And then x is going to be d sub x, which is 38, over d, which is -5. And then y is going to be -31 over -5. Since that has 2 negatives, we'll want to just write it as a positive. And 5 doesn't go into either of these, so they can't be simplified in any way. So let's go ahead and type these in. And 38 over -5. So if it seems like some of these are a little bit wacky fractions, that's okay. That is to be expected, which part of using Cramer's rule is to solve these ones that get weird fractions that would be hard to solve using like substitution or elimination. All right, so there you have it. Do your best on these. If you're really stuck, you can reach out to me. I don't know that I'll be able to answer, but you could always ask me when we get back. All right, good luck, guys.